Good, happy Friday afternoon, everyone. November 6th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this afternoon edition of The News with Riley King. Let's begin. First up, let's take a look at your national election results. Let's see who is in the lead right now. And here's a look at those national election results for all of you. As you can see, Joe Biden, he is in the lead. Joe Biden has 253 points, and Donald Trump has 214 points. Either Donald Trump or Joe Biden need 270 to win this presidential race. So no one is close to that number yet. Election 2020 live updates and results. Votes are still being counted in several key states. Your top headlines. Joe Biden pulls ahead in Pennsylvania. Over 1,700 mail-in ballots found at USPS facility in Pennsylvania. Georgia's voting system implementing manager says they are counting every single legal vote. Biden takes the lead in Georgia. November 6th at 12:16 p.m. update. Pennsylvania late arriving ballots not currently part of count. Pennsylvania has not started counting late arriving ballots postmarked by November 3rd, Secretary of the Commonwealth said on Thursday. That means Biden's current lead over Trump does not include those ballots which Republicans are seeking to challenge in the Supreme Court. Officials in the state's biggest counties, Philadelphia, Allegheny, and Montenegro, all confirmed to ABC News that they have not started counting those ballots and have only sergeant them and put them aside. We can tell you 2 of the county officials said they have no plans to count them until 5 p.m. Eastern Friday at the earliest. And we can also tell you, breaking news, Mark Kelly will win the Senate race in Arizona. Take a look. Projected winner. A key flip for Democrats. Mark Kelly is the projected winner in Arizona for Senate. Eva Pilgrim says Biden is leading by a slim margin of about 9,000 votes in Pennsylvania, with about 120,000 ballots still left to be counted. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News, Eva Pilgrim.
In the state of Pennsylvania, Eva Pilgrim, want to give us an update on where things stand right now, what we can expect over the course of the day?
Well, right now, looking at the numbers, Joe Biden is leading by a slim margin here in Pennsylvania, about 9,000 votes. There's still about 120,000 of those outstanding ballots that need to be counted. And we are expecting, the state has given us the idea that those will mostly be counted today. Here in Pennsylvania, George, I just kind of want to go back to some of that information that has been swirling out there about whether or not those ballots that arrived after Election Day are being counted, right? Those ballots are in question. They were postmarked. They have until Friday to arrive. The state has told us earlier this week that those ballots were to be segregated. We actually went ahead and called today in the three largest counties in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Allegheny, and Montgomery. All three of those counties confirmed to us that they have, in fact, segregated those ballots, and they have not been counted yet. They will not start counting those ballots until later today, if the court tells them that that is something that they should do. And I just also want to reiterate the fact that that decision and that running of this election process is being done by a bipartisan group here in Philadelphia. The commissioner that actually confirmed for us that those ballots were segregated was Al Schmidt. He's a Republican here. And that group that is counting the ballots, they are Republican and Democrat. So it's a mixture of people in the room. It's an important distinction that I think the American public needs to understand as they see this vote total come in. This total does not include those ballots that are in question, George.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Al Roker from the Today Show announced Friday on the Today Show that he has been diagnosed with prostate cancer and will be undergoing surgery to have his prostate removed. And our thoughts and prayers go to Al Roker and his family. Georgia Secretary of State expects that there will be a recount in Georgia due to a narrow vote margin. Let's take a listen to that video from the Secretary of State from Georgia right now.
As we are closing in on a final count, we can begin to look toward our next steps. With a margin that small, there will be a recount in Georgia. Interest in our election obviously goes far beyond Georgia's borders. The final tally in Georgia at this point has huge implications for the entire country. The stakes are high and emotions are high on all sides. We will not let those debates distract us from our work. We will get it right. As we are closing in on a final count.
Okay, and there you go from that video, what the Georgia Secretary of State just said. Hallie Jackson from NBC News had one person close to the White House say to her, "No one is willing to tell King Lear the truth in their words." Let's take a listen to that video from MSNBC.
Hallie, you've got new reporting. What are you hearing from the Trump team?
So a lot of things, Steph. Mostly this defiant posture from the reporting from our team here covering President Trump in the White House. Essentially, this idea that this concession, if it were to get to that point, is not going to come. We heard from White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany this morning, who says any talk of the president conceding is purely hypothetical at this point. And I can tell you that sources I'm talking to are sort of hitting that defiant tone, saying he is not going to, concede an inch. He's going to fight all the way up until the last second. There is no discussion right now of a potential concession. Now, that said, our team is reporting, Monica Apple, my colleague here, says that campaign staffers are feeling deflated at headquarters in Virginia. They are sort of seeing, at least the veteran staffers, according to another member of our team, Shannon Pettypiece, seeing that, there is not a path to the president's victory to 270 if Joe Biden takes Pennsylvania. They kind of understand that. There's a lot of clicking refresh at the computers to see what the latest vote count total is. And I'm assuming, watching Steve Kornacki and the others who were at the big board working on those maps, I will tell you that there is a question, too, of
who is going to be giving the reality check to the president? I had one person close to the White House say to me, apparently nobody is willing to tell King Lear the truth, in their words. So that is a question that we're watching moving forward. And you also have some questions and some frustration, frankly, about how there's no clear field general sort of marshaling the legal and PR battles, kind of like what James Baker did for Bush back in 2000. As one ally told my colleague Peter Alexander, all the best names are never Trumpers on that front.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this afternoon edition of The News with Riley King. Thank you for joining us for this afternoon edition of The News with Riley King. Have a great rest of your afternoon. See you back here later on today for another broadcast. Goodbye, everyone.